it's Kelsey
and Kendra.
So today we're doing another twin talk for you guys. I'm not exactly sure which number this is, but obviously it'll be in the title. And today we're going to be talking about leaving the nest and becoming independent. So we did a video similar to this a while ago, about a year ago, and we're just redoing it because we got a lot of requests to do this. In our last twin talk, a lot of people were like, can you guys give tips on how to move out, and what you guys did. So that's what we're doing today. So it's kind of similar to our old video, but we knew some people probably didn't have time to go that far down in our videos to find the older videos, so we just thought to include this in a twin talk series. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it.
Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is saving. Saving is super important, and it sounds really simple, but for some people it's easier said than done. But if you really want to move out, you will make sure you save more than enough so that you can be comfortable wherever you're moving to. Especially if you're leaving the nest for the first time, you don't want to have to move out and then move back home, because that's kind of embarrassing. Because when we vowed to move out, we made sure that we were ready and that we were never going to go back home. So we've done that, and you definitely want to be confident in your savings. So yeah, saving is super important, especially if you're moving somewhere where you're going to school and you're not going to be working. So wherever you were working before, whatever job you had, you want to make sure you're saving as much as you can so that you can be in a comfortable spot whenever you move out. Especially when you go to these apartments, whenever you go apartment hunting, they're going to be looking at your credit, and if you have a good savings account, they be all up in your business, because they want to make sure that you're going to be a good, responsible resident, which it makes sense. No one's going to accept anyone who they feel like isn't going to pay their rent.
So yeah, saving definitely saved us pretty much, and I think that's a life lesson. You need to save throughout life in general, but this is our first tip because that was the first step we had to take before moving out. So yeah, me and Kendra knew that it was very important to save our money in order to get out of the house. So we both worked 2 jobs to ensure that we had enough to move out.
Because most people who want to move out, they talk about it a lot, but it's not as real until you see your savings grow. It becomes more real when you feel like you're comfortable enough to leave the nest finally.
Yeah, so you definitely want to make sure you're financially stable and comfortable, like Kendra said. Okay, number 2, make sure you have a plan. So you need to know where you're moving to, obviously. You need to know what kind of area you want to live in, look for your apartments, basically be organized. So most of you guys do know that Kendra and I are from Montgomery, Alabama, so we moved from Alabama to Atlanta, Georgia, where we live now. So Kendra and I definitely made sure we did our research before we left, and we really didn't know too much about Atlanta. We knew enough from coming here to visit, like on weekends and things like that, but make sure you do your research online first. People ask us all the time, like, what's a good area? But we really can't tell you that because we don't know your budget. We don't know what kind of area you want to be in. Like, if you want to be more in suburb, city, we don't know. So you have to kind of do that research yourself. That's exactly what we did.
And decide for your personal needs.
Yeah. So that's exactly what we did. And we looked at a lot of apartments online, and we kind of like narrowed it down to like a top like 4 or 5, and we came to Atlanta to actually physically look at them. So we pretty much just went on an apartment hunt. We set aside a weekend to come back here, and we just looked at apartments, and that's how we made our decision on the first apartment that we were going to get. So you definitely want to make sure you have options. Don't set your heart on any one place, especially just by looking online.
Yeah, because pictures are deceiving.
Yeah, photos can be very deceiving, and you're like, this is not what I thought it was going to look like. Like, we've seen a lot of apartments where they look amazing online, and you be like, this ain't it. So definitely do your research and go look in person after. And also make sure you set a budget. Obviously, you're moving out for the first time. This is your first place, so if you're not like Kylie Jenner rich as a young person, then you're not going to be like living in a high-rise in the city or nothing like that. So yeah, you don't want to live beyond your means. You want to make sure you're comfortable, but comfortable, if you know what I mean. Yeah. You don't want to be dishing out all your money every month for rent and not having nothing left over to do anything else.
But you also want to feel safe where you're staying. Exactly. So you want to find like a happy medium to where you feel safe to sleep at night, because this is going to be where you go to every night where you live. But you also don't want to feel broke.
You want to be able to afford it.
Yes.
Yeah. I pretty much just dabbled into number 3 without even knowing it. Be realistic.
Okay, so number 4 is save more than you spend, and this is pretty much self-explanatory. You always want to save more money than you spend, because obviously you cannot be living in a suitcase full of clothes. So as much as we love shopping, and as much as we loved it then, we still love it just as much now, if not more. But you definitely want to have priorities, and which one is more important. Like these new pair of shoes I want, or my new place that I'm trying to move into. So definitely weigh out the pros and cons of the consequences for both. So you definitely want to save more than you spend, because you'll end up where you want to be in your apartment and living on your own.
Yes, and we still do that now. I feel like that should go on into life. Save more than you spend. Okay, number 5, give yourself a deadline. And what we mean by this is kind of push yourself out of the house, because that's kind of what we did. We obviously moved out to go to school. We went to Aveda Institute, which is a cosmetology school. We toured the school, we got accepted, and there was a date of the first day of school, and that was kind of our deadline. Like, we have to be out of the house because we can't miss the first day of school. So we kind of like forced ourselves to go ahead and apply for school, and that was kind of our push, I think, to get us out of the house.
And I think we made our move-in date like around the time, like enough time to where we could be settled in before we went to school. I think we moved in like a month before the first day, so we had enough time to like get settled in and like get furniture, and like family helped us out and all that kind of stuff, move all our furniture in. So you want to make sure you have like a good timeline of when you want to move in, especially if you're going to school. So make sure you have enough time to get comfortable and settled, because if it's too close together, it will be stressful. And that deadline will, like Kelsey said, just push you out and force you out, because so many people, the hardest part about moving out for the first time
is actually leaving.
That's the hardest part. After you like get over that hill, then you'll be good to go.
Okay, number 6. This is a kind of, it depends on the person you are, but I feel like this applies for everybody.
I do too.
Avoid living with friends. And we definitely say this with experience, because we tried it. It didn't work.
It didn't work out. And it sounds fun living with friends. It sounds fun, but it sounds like a party until the party is over. Because when I tell you, like, it's all exciting, yo, we're going to be living together, we can talk every night like a little sleepover every day. It's not going to stay like that. So you want to make sure that you trust the person that you're living with. You want to make sure that that person is reliable and responsible, because everybody is not going to always hold up their end of the bargain, and you see a completely different person once you move in together. That's just in general, because even with living with boyfriends and friends, you do not know that person until you actually live together. Because they seem like this perfect person to live with until you actually live with them.
You just see people so differently when you live with them.
Yes, you do. Not only with like the paying rent thing and everybody's not always having their stuff on time, but also with like being clean. Everybody might not be as clean as you. It works for us because we were raised together. We're siblings, so we kind of know each other, and we both hate clutter, we hate dirt, we hate messiness. So we're on the same page when it comes to that. Not everybody's gonna be clean, so it's very stressful when you come home every day and like it's clothes everywhere, it's dishes in the sink. You don't want to have to deal with that. You want to come home to a peaceful, clean house, unless mess doesn't bother you, unless you're the messy person. But those kind of things are gonna like get annoying after a while. It may not seem like a big deal in the beginning, but after a while it gets annoying. And with inviting people over and not telling the other person. So communication is a big deal as well when you're living with somebody else. Like, some people don't communicate that to you. You come home, it's random people on your couch. Like, it's not always that dandy. So you definitely want to make sure you have good communication skills with the person that you're living with, because it plays a lot into a peaceful living environment. And for me, honestly, if Kelsey was not my sister and if we did not live together, either or, I would be living by myself, only because everybody not like me. So everybody, and I feel like I'm a little too like, you OCD and I am too, but I definitely think that's a big part of why I don't want to live with nobody. Me neither. Because of my OCD. Everything will bother me. Me too. I mean, everybody not as clean as we are. No, like, and really I told Kendra that, like, if I move out before she does, or vice versa, like, whoever ends up getting engaged and married first, I'm sorry, I'm not finna go out looking for no roommates. No, I'll be alright. I will be okay. I FaceTime, call each other. Exactly. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's like, my sanity is very important to me, and I'm trying to keep it. So I like everything to be organized and clean. In the roommate situation, I ain't got time for it. I just don't want it. So yes, I know some people are gonna be in the comments like, you guys have each other,
clearly we have each other, but we're saying if we were not twins or sisters, we would be living alone.
Like,
period.
I would get me like a nice 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom and just have me like a makeup and like closet room and then like a nice master. I would just have a nice bachelorette pad.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what it would be.
And it helps to avoid messing up friendships as well.
Yes. So that's what it's going to be. We're going to be each other's roommates until we both get engaged and eventually married. A lot of people are always curious about that, so that's our situation. No roommates after this.
No.
But yes, please make sure you make the right decisions when you're choosing a roommate. 9 times out of 10, if you feel unsure, it's not going to end well.
Yes.
Like if you're not positive about living with this person, if it sounds fun, you're like, oh, I love her, but I don't know about this, don't do it.
Yeah.
Please don't. Because if you have those doubts,
it's not going to end well.
it's not going to end well.
Definitely
if you're
not.
uncertain, I always say uncertainty is certain. That's your decision already.
Yep. Okay, so a little recap. Of course, it's good to save for a rainy day, but especially when you're moving out for the first time, because it kind of gets you in the habit of saving.
2, you always want to have a plan because you always want to be super organized and know exactly what you're going to do before you move out and before you do it.
Number 3, be realistic. You don't want to live outside your means, but you still want to live comfortably. So that's that.
4, you want to save more than you spend because it's super important and it's pretty self-explanatory and you're going to be in a good spot if you abide by the save more than you spend rule.
Yeah. Number 5, give yourself a deadline so you kind of just push yourself out of the house, because if you don't give yourself a deadline, I feel like you are just going to be dragging your feet and you're never going to do it.
Last but not least, you want to avoid living with friends because it sounds like a party until the party's over, like I said before. So if you want to keep your friends, keep them out your house.
Not in a general sense, but living together.
Living together.
But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, let us know what you guys want us to talk about in the next Twin Talk. Leave us questions. Also, leave us any of your own situations that you're going through, that you're dealing with, that you need help with. We'll be happy to help you, and we'll see y'all in the next Twin Talk.